this is Amanda Rideout, health coach, and here we are again interviewing Ben Fuchs, pharmacist, nutritionist, and cosmetic chemist. Yeah, so hi Ben, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. You forgot researcher too.
Researcher.
I love to research. Okay, so you want to talk about feeding the skin? That's our topic.
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, it's one of my favorite topics. Because I'm a nutritionist and I'm also a skincare chemist and I'm also a pharmacist. I bring all these different ideas together. And what I discovered when I was working as a nutritionist is that you could do a heck of a lot of things with the skin using nutrition. Number one, and number two, skin diseases, and by skin diseases I mean things like acne, psoriasis, and eczema, but also accelerated aging, hyperpigmentation, wrinkles, dry skin, things that we don't consider to be diseases per se, but really are signs of biochemical disruption or dysfunction. Those are really, at the end of the day, nutritional. And so I discovered that, number one, that you could do a heck of a lot of things to keep the skin healthy and beautiful and glowing using nutrition. And number two, I found that skin diseases and skin issues that people were having were also nutritional. So it's like, why the heck are we not using nutrients to help people take care of their skin? And so I started exploring these ideas of dispensing nutrients for different kind of skin remedy or skin issues, and I was finding that they were remedial, they were therapeutic, they were helping. And then I thought to myself, well, why don't we start using those nutrients that are so effective internally? Why don't we just start using them topically? And so I started experimenting with using nutrients topically. And then in pharmacy, we've always used things like vitamin A topically and vitamin D topically. So I kind of had this idea from pharmacy that we could be doing things topically using vitamins. And so I started exploring putting vitamins directly on the skin. And lo and behold, the results were amazing, absolutely amazing. And they didn't take very long. They took days, sometimes one day, to really notice an effect. And the more I got into studying why this was happening, the more I realized, number one, the skin absorbs things, has an absorptive nature. Now, it doesn't absorb everything, and certainly you have to use some strategies to maximize absorption, formulation strategies to maximize absorption. So you can't just rub stuff on the skin. And that's kind of a misunderstanding that people have about ingredients in skincare products. They feel like, oh my God, my skin's going to absorb everything. That doesn't happen. It's very difficult for things to get absorbed through the skin. It has to have the right chemical structure. It has to have the right chemical nature. You got to have the right cofactors to support it. Transdermal penetration of drugs and of active ingredients is something that pharmacists study a lot. I mean, I have textbooks, like huge textbooks on transdermal delivery that talk about all the various parameters and measurements and techniques and things that you have to do to get things into the blood through the skin. Now, you can get things into the skin without them being in the blood much easier. See, this is a misunderstanding. Just because something's in the skin doesn't mean it's in the blood. You follow me?
Yeah.
The blood is where that's the sacred space. Now, if you put enough of something on the skin, or if you have the right formulation or a patch perhaps, a lot of drugs will use patches, then you can get some good penetration into the blood. But for the most part, your typical skincare product is not going to go very far into the skin, first of all, and certainly not going to make it into the blood unless you really pound it. So let's bust that mythological rumor balloon right now. Let's stick a pin in that one and explode it, because it's not true. However, there are things that you could do to maximize the absorption of things into the skin without getting into the blood, and that's valuable. For example, remember we talked about how you have 3 layers to the skin. You got the sprinkles on the top, you've got the candy coating, we said, right? And then the beef, right? The beef contains these beef-making cells. Okay, they're called fibroblasts, and they make beef. The beef, when I say beef, I'm thinking connective tissue and ropes, molecular ropes that keeps the skin solid and elastic and stretchy and healthy and vibrant. The things we notice when we look at each other's skin or when we look at our skin. You know, when we look at each other's skin, we're getting an assessment of how healthy they are, how young they are, subliminally, subconsciously. We're not even noticing it. Or we're not even thinking about it. Sometimes we do, but even if we're not thinking about it consciously, subconsciously, their health, their age, their danger to us, all these things we're getting a printout on them. And one of the things we're looking at is the beefy nature of the skin. The difference between your grandmother's skin and your skin or your baby's skin is beef. It's the thickness, the plumpiness. Yes. And this is where we want to address if we want anti-aging. And this is where very few skin products address. And we have this idea that wrinkles are on the surface and we'll just scrub the wrinkle away. No, the wrinkle is in the beef, well under the candy coating and the sprinkles.
Yeah.
So if we want to get into anti-aging, we got to be into the beef. Am I making sense? You follow what I'm saying? You don't. That's not a good
No,
metaphor, probably.
It's funny, but it's good.
It is. We're just steak at the end of
Yeah.
the day. We're just like glorified cows, kind of, because we're just beef. Because we're mostly beef.
Yeah.
You know, we're 50%. You know what? We're 80% if you count muscle tissue and connective tissue, which is what beef is. We're 80% beef. Everything else is just like sprinkled around. So then the skin is the same way. 90% of the skin is the beef. And then 10% is just the candy coating and the sprinkles. And where do you think your skincare products, for the most part, work?
The sprinkles.
The candy coating and the sprinkles. And when we talk about exercising the skin, we're talking about sprinkles benefits and candy coating benefits, but we're really talking about beef benefits. Yeah. And that's where you want to be. And it's very difficult to get beef benefits. There's only a couple things you could do. There's only a couple types of products. Number one, exercise, which we just talked about. That will get you some beef benefits. And number two, there's a select group of nutrients that you can use that can stimulate the beef. Okay, and that's what we're now. In addition to those select few, and there's basically only two, maybe three, and I'll talk about a third type of nutrient here. We'll talk about that later. This will be like a 2 or 3, maybe even 4 episode chapter. This whole idea of feeding the skin, and then we'll talk about internal nutrition as well. Yeah. So many things I want to talk about here. So anyway, there's two ingredients. There's two ingredients that will really get you into the beef. These are 2 vitamins, and they're must-haves, absolutely must-haves, okay? And then there's a whole bunch of other ingredients that are secondary ingredients. They'll give you some benefits, mostly protectant benefits. They're not going to necessarily give you a lot of beef benefits, but they'll give you environmental protectant benefits. See, the candy coating and the sprinkles, they protect the beef from the environment. Okay. They protect the beef from the sun. They protect the beef from cigarette smoke and air pollution. They protect the beef from things you put on top of the skin. So you can do things to the candy coating and the sprinkles to enhance their protective properties. And also to get some growth. Sometimes skin cells, when skin cells are growing at a more even pace, you can help take care of eczema. You can help accelerate wound healing. There's things you could do. I don't mean to imply that the beef is only where you want to be. You can get benefits by addressing the candy coating and the sprinkles too. But for anti-aging, most of your really good effects are going to be beef effects. Now these secondary nutrients, and we'll talk about what those are, those will get you some protective benefits. And they'll get you some healthier candy coating and healthier sprinkles as well. But there's only 2 ingredients that'll get you the beef. And those are 2 very important ingredients that you want to know about. Should I tell you what those are?
Yes, please do.
Actually, I think maybe we should wait. Maybe we should wait till the next episode. Can we have
one of them now?
No, I think we should just be theoretical here.
Okay.
Let's talk theoretical, okay?
Okay.
So here's the thing.
Wow. Now I'm antsy.
All right, good.
All right.
That's good. I like it though. All right, so here's the deal. When we're nutritionally deficient, and I don't know if I may have said this on another video, I'm not sure, but we'll say it again. When we're nutritionally deficient, which most of us are, if we have digestive problems and we're not absorbing nutrients or we're not getting nutrients in our food, we're eating the standard American diet, we're not supplementing, etc., and we're nutritionally deficient, the body will compartmentalize the nutrients it's getting. It will partition them. It will take them to where it's most needed. And under conditions of deficiency, the body will redirect the nutrients to the more important systems and organs, the heart, the liver, the lungs. In other words, it will divert nutrients from the skin to the core of the body. You'll lose these vital nutrients that are important for the health of the skin, for environmental protection, for building the beef, for keeping cells growing correctly. It'll redirect them to the core of the body, the more important organs and structures, and you'll become deficient in the skin, in nutrients in the skin first. The skin is the canary in the coal mine. That's your indicator that it's your first indicator that there's a nutritional deficiency problem. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's the first place you're going to lose nutrients. So by applying nutrients topically, you can bypass some of that problem. In other words, you can actually allow this to create metabolic changes in the skin, chemistry changes in the skin. The skin can actually access these nutrients in a way that it would ordinarily access them if you were getting enough nutrients internally. So it's a way of guaranteeing that you're going to get these key nutrients to your skin. And for most of us, that's very important. For most of us, because most of us are nutritionally deficient, when we put vitamins on the skin that are accepted by the skin, and we'll talk about what the 2 main ones are here on the next video, but when you do that, the skin sucks them up the way a dry sponge sucks up water. In a deficiency state, the skin will suck up key nutrients like a dry sponge sucks up more water than a wet sponge. You follow what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's in essence a dry sponge. So you can override the body's tendency to partition and compartmentalize nutrients to the core of the body by using nutrients topically. That's the first thing. Okay? The second thing is if you use the correct kind of nutrients, the skin loves them. The skin will respond to them quickly. I'm talking color changes, ruddiness, a healthy glow to the skin, a softness to the skin, a smoothness to the skin immediately. I'm not talking about the long-term effects. The long-term effects are awesome. You're going to get long-term effects. But immediately, you'll get this complete color change and healthy glow to the skin. I don't even know how to describe it, except I called it for my other company, I just called it a glow because it's a glow. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
It's a vibrancy and a manifestation of health that is present even if you have wrinkles. Even if your skin is old, even if you don't have a lot of beef, your beef has been breaking down and you have thinning skin, even then the skin is so receptive to these topical nutrients that you'll get this glow with your wrinkles. Now, in the long run, in the long term, you get a 1-2 benefit here, 1-2 punch. You get a short term and a long term. In the long term, if you use the correct nutrients, and we'll talk about what those are, you will get more beef and you'll protect the loss and you'll protect against the breakdown of the beef that you have. So you'll protect against the formation of wrinkles, and you'll be building more tissue underneath as well. And that is, there's no skincare ingredients aside from these two nutrients that we'll tell you about next time. There is nothing on God's green earth in the world of cosmetics and skincare that can do that. Wow. Nothing. Okay? No frankincense, no olive oil, no jojoba oil, no magic peptide. And I shouldn't say it because there's a couple peptides, and we'll talk about those later too, that might do it. But very few peptides will do it. But these two nutrients are so important that if you're stranded on a desert island and you can only bring 2 ingredients for your skin, these are the 2 that you want to bring.
You know, that's really interesting because we have been taught our whole life that if you just put this cream and this lotion and, just a lot of things that, like you said, are topical and really don't make a difference. And we spend lots of money.
Oh, you want to know why? You want to know why you spend lots of money? Let me tell you why you spend lots of money. Because you see, when you buy a skincare product, most skincare products, and I've been formulating skincare products for 30 years, so I'm going to tell you how the sausage is made here. I'm going to tell you stuff that they don't want you to know. The skincare companies don't want you to know. Don't want to rock the boat. I'll tell you a lot of things, as we go through these videos, but one of the important things is your skincare product is 80 to 90% water. So if you spend $40, say, on a skincare cream, a 2-ounce skincare cream that's 60 grams, and it's 90% water, or 80% we'll say, that's 48 grams of it is water. Okay, you just paid $40 for 2 cups of water.
Wow.
Okay, no, not 2 cups. Excuse me. What am I talking about? 10 teaspoons of water. You just spent $40 for 10 teaspoons of water and a little bit of smattering of something. Okay, for the most part.
Yeah.
Right? Is that crazy?
Yeah.
This is
crazy.
But you know what the margin? You know how much margin? You know how much profit margin that is? People are selling you water for $40 for 10 teaspoons. It's just not a nice business. Okay, that's first of all. That's why when I formulate products and when you see my products, they're packed with active material. This is what distinguishes my formulations. They're 90% active, 80% active, 100% active. Because you know what? You don't need the water. Go get your own water. It's not fair. It's not fair to sell somebody 10 teaspoons of water with a little bit of stuff inside of it.
Right.
And then that's not even going to address the real skin problems because most skincare products, most skincare ingredients only address the candy coating and the sprinkles. They can't really get down to the beef. And then on top of that, as we said last time, if a skincare product really worked, what would it be?
It would be a medication.
It would be a medication, exactly. And so with the exception of alpha hydroxy acids that we talked about, which are not regulated still, although the FDA has been, I don't know if they're still trying, but for a while they tried to regulate them, and a select group of active ingredients that we'll talk about later, that we'll talk about in our next video, there's no skincare company in the world wants to delve into the realm of active ingredients that really do something that could be construed as medications.
Well, I guess next time we will talk about what those active ingredients are, or we might talk about one and then wait for the next interview.
Maybe we'll do that. But you know what? It's not a secret. Everybody who's heard me speak knows me. Okay.
Well, thank you so much again for all your information, and we are definitely looking forward to our next interview.
Good deal. Good to talk to you.
Good to talk to you too.